All right, we'll just start it.
Isabel.
It's fine.
Isabel.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for coming out. Welcome to the podcast. Yes. All right.
Everyone clap.
We
Everyone
don't
clap.
have sound effects. We don't have music yet because if I put music in, it's going to be muted as well. So I thought about that before. And we don't, so if anybody
It's true,
has
it's
any
true.
type of music that they made or something or have the rights to that want to help us out, then that'll be great. That'll be fantastic. So,
I've got royalty-free music.
exactly. Stuff like royalty-free music with no royalties. We'll talk about it later, but we're just starting out. And I think we're gonna change the last podcast I did. It was called the Respect Wyman, but I think we're gonna change it to not a podcast podcast. It's gonna be like NAP for short. The NAP podcast.
I like that.
So
Affiliated
not
with
a
not a group.
yeah. So it's
Right,
not a
NAP
podcast,
is
not
nag.
a podcast affiliated with not a group because we are not a group, which is great. So what I want to do with the podcast is just invite people from the VR chat community. Last podcast we did it with Angel, but we've been thinking we might want to do another one with some more people involved to just get a sense of what you guys are doing and everything. But this week we are not a group, and we're going to talk about what we're going to be doing and like what we are all about, and with conversations as well with the rest of you guys that are here. So it's not gonna just all be not a group. We're not gonna be just what's it called? What's it called when you're
We're not like
yeah, like a propaganda. It's not a group
Exclusive.
propaganda.
yeah, we're not like a bunch of people trying to make like a huge following like the other groups do
Yeah.
and stuff. We're just
Exactly.
we're a community, we're a family.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
touching on that, I guess we're just gonna start it off. Just I kind of want this just to be like a casual podcast, just conversational and whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're gonna kind of talk about first of all, what is not a group? Like, how did it start and everything like
It's
that.
not a group.
Exactly. So what did not a group come from? Because I had no part in naming that at all. So who was it? Was it
Do you want to
Dairu?
answer this one, dear?
Yeah, so Kuda and I were discussing like the politics of what the communities were in VR chat, and we were noticing that a lot of them were staying kind of neutral, but they weren't really like doing like the outward social thing, and then some of them were getting really like politic heavy and like structuring it kind of like a business, and it was taking the fun out of certain things. So we just kind of looked at each other and went, well, you know, he and I both, we create worlds, and then like we invite one person and then it just kind of turns into a party. Let's make this a community thing.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
were like kind of going, well, what could we call this? And I'm like, well, it's not really a group. And then he kind of went, well, then it's not a group, now, isn't it? And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what it is. So that we just kind of ran with it.
And then it kind of turns
Yeah.
into a group. Anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of like talk a little bit more on that because like I don't want it to seem like we think that it's wrong that other groups are running it the way they're running it or doing like what they're
No,
doing.
no,
It's kind of like
absolutely
we're
not.
kind of like serving another
the numbers.
part of the community, which is people that don't fit into that kind of group, which is cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, what it essentially is a way for, like, if you don't want to RP, or if you don't want to be like in something that's inclusive, then you know, not a group is definitely a way for you, because like there's no, like, there's really no hierarchy. It's just a bunch of people that want to come together, that just want to like lift each other up and have a good time.
And just
That's
hang
all
out
it
and
really
stuff.
is.
That's what we always do. So touching on that, then what would not a group's purpose be? Like we would be kind of like it would be well, yeah, it would be like kind of we're trying to get people that are kind
We're,
of like don't have any like community people that like you
People
want
that are like
yeah.
new, people that pretty much don't know how to get around in this game, people that don't know how like I'm kind of reaching out more towards the people that don't know how to like interact or socialize with the people in here, and we're just getting them involved, whether it be like random events or just randomly making a conversation between them and someone else happen. Like I know
Yeah.
Dairo wants to organize more like event-oriented things where we get stuff together. Like well, you had a certain idea before. Dairo.
I've been kind of explaining it as like a meet and greet community. So
Okay.
essentially, it's like you're new to the game and you want to meet people and you want to have a good time, then come along with us. Or I do kind of want to like um, have like little events here and there where like the hierarchies of these other groups are there. So like because um, from the very bottom looking up, like a lot of these people, like Lolly King, and if you're not a part of those factions, you don't you kind of look at them as people that are untouchable, like you can't reach out to them. And I've personalizing these people and making others realize that they're human beings too, and they like to have fun as well.
Yeah.
Would make people go, oh well, I do want to be a part of this group, or I want to be active with this other group. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to and like have events like that. But besides that, like we're just a meet and greet group. Like come hang out, have a good time, let's have a conversation. That's basically what I see it as.
See, that's the thing with me is I've noticed a lot of the yeah, I know Oxy's
Dear
avatar is
Oxy.
killing me right now.
Oxy, you're distracting. Hey, Trevor, thanks for the follow.
I've noticed like there's a lot of groups that stand for good things, and obviously there's a lot of groups that are standing for like a bunch of negative things in this game, and it's causing a lot of publicity between the both of them. And it's just I didn't want to start a group or be in a group that is a sole focus on just we're going to be this community and we're going to have this specific goal of like doing this one thing. Like I wanted to just have a group where people can just come and have fun and do what they like to do and enjoy the game, and not something so structured, but at the same time we're not just going to we're not going to have it go crazy where people can just do whatever they want and like cause havoc or anything. But it's like I just wanted a group where people can come in and be like, okay, this is a place I can have fun. Like these are people I can like becoming friends with.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of the community right now, as far as not a group is concerned, it is full of people from all of these other groups, and it doesn't. The reason it's not a group is because we tend to treat each other more like a family would at like a family reunion, instead of like a structured like hierarchy. Like you're a member, and then there's admins, and then there's leaders. Like it's not structured that way
Cool. So like,
purposefully. So
yeah. So like touching on that, so let's say like we do grow a substantial amount, there's still got to be some sort of order. Or do you think
I mean,
what do you think about that? Like it being in a bigger like eventually being a bigger group,
I
what would you think
I
that would
honestly
evolve to?
I see us more of like a gateway for people to find places they want to actually be. Like, yeah, they're always going to be part of not a group, but at the same time, like, I know people are going to come through us and they're going to meet other friends, and then they're going to want to start their own little, like, circle of people. It's more of us helping them find the way to that. Like, finding a way for them to get to where they want to
Are
go.
we gonna show them the way?
Oh, God.
we'll try to keep them away from the way.
I mean, I'm totally fine with whatever.
Another.
Like, I don't have like talked about it before. I don't really have anything against the Knuckles or anything like that. It's just so many people, and it's
When
easy
they
to
start
like,
causing, when it's,
yes,
yeah, like when it's
easy
a
to start
large
causing
group,
havoc.
when it's a large group going around and they're all repeating the same line after each other, it kind of becomes sort of verbal chaos. And that's when it kind of becomes more destructive. Like as much as I don't like the Knuckles, I have heard, I believe it was Angel who actually mentioned it to me before about as bad as it is, they're actually good for the game because they've gotten the game a lot more publicity than it normally should have.
Well, normally would have had. I think it should have like
Yeah.
a ton more than
Well,
it
yeah, it
already
should
does.
have. Normally would have. Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That's true.
kind of like the meme brought a bunch of people here, uh, which is
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely. That's
I just don't want
Yeah.
people to. I don't want people's ideas of the game being, oh, it's just a place where a bunch of people can cause a lot of havoc in voice chat like that. I want it to be like, yes, there is some of that because that does happen, and where
mhm.
it always will happen. But at the same time, I want it to be a place where people can come and be like, okay, I can meet a lot of people here and have fun and make
So
some new friends.
so let's talk about that a little bit. How do you like? How would we? I'm gonna like include myself, I guess. How would we like go along with doing that? Like, how would we encounter new people and kind of bring them in and stuff like that? Because a lot of what like we do and what people here do is we're kind of in like friend worlds, friend plus worlds and stuff like that. And it's kind of like
That's true.
we kind of meet friends that have friends and meet other friend groups and stuff like that, but we don't really go into the public worlds much because it's like we don't want to run into like all this chaos and kind of negative
I
stuff, and
think
we kind of stick to ourselves. So it's kind of like like what are we gonna like what should we do to do that? Like we could just have a discussion about it right now. We don't have to say anything like for certain, but
I
it's kind of something to
I
think
think a
about.
lot of that I think a lot of that could be done like kind of on personal time. Like
True.
we all have different times that we're on and we're not always with other people. Like you end up going to public realms at one point or another. And if you end up, stopping and having a conversation with somebody who just like seems like they would fit in real well,
Yeah.
or you find that they're kind of lost in the VR verse, like just kind of go, hey, well, I'm a part of this group, and it's a bunch of laid back people that are just trying to find their way in the VR chat world. Like, come hang
Yeah,
out.
definitely.
And
Yeah, I mean, I guess we all like started out that way where we were just wandering around.
I mean,
Trying
another way is even though we kind of run into other friend groups, I feel like a lot of the people in the friend groups kind of end up tagging along with us as well, or they
Yeah,
end
that's
up
true.
we end up in like worlds with them where they're in public worlds, or they're with like other people that are just kind of there and end up joining as well, and as well as the night that we did like the not podcast the
Improv.
improv. How
Yeah.
there were a lot of people that just joined there that didn't really know anybody and they
Yeah,
just kind of had fun. And
definitely.
I think doing like random events like that, like the
Yeah.
improvs or
Yeah,
other
I
things.
think I'm planning like one of the things I was planning is having that improv be a weekly thing as well, and have it like either every Sunday or every like bi-weekly, depending if we get more things to do. But like I think Sunday is a great day to do those improvs because that's when most people are gonna be like on and engaging, like Sunday nights. That'll be a cool thing to get people to go to and like find out ways to promote that and find out ways to like we can go to pub worlds and be like, yo, the Sunday's improv, and stuff like that, and we'd love for you to join and stuff. And just check it out because like people
um,
spend hours just going around worlds and not finding anything interesting, just a bunch of crap. But yeah,
and not to backtrack too far, but to go back over something that we discussed just a minute ago when you were talking about like needing structure within the group. As far as the Discord is concerned, there are people and moderators and admins in the Discord to help,
yeah,
moderate situations in there. So it's not like it's without structure, but
yeah.
we don't want people to feel like there's,
The
overlords looking over the top of them constantly. Like
yeah,
we want it to be, um, you know, as open of a format
moderators
as
that have
it can be.
yeah, definitely. So like touching kind of on that, do we want to like promote the Discord a bit on here so people that